What's going on, guys? Welcome back. I got a new daily to give the Maserati a break because I'm going to start doing a bunch of work to it, and I just don't think I need to put that much miles in it. So get a new daily, and you guessed it, it's a Speed 3. So this car was actually on my channel a while back. I want to say 2-3 years ago. I got some videos on my channel when I did that top mount turbo and a bunch of other stuff. I think I added methanol to it as well. I did all the piping. So I was able to buy this car fairly cheap considering everything that it's got in it. But it came at a price. And what that price is, well, it needs some work. It needs some maintenance work is what it needs. So I'm gonna go through everything I need to do to this car in order to get it back on the road, taking me to work, reliable without, giving me issues. So as you can see, I already started tearing into it. This has a hood dump with the wastegate and the exhaust. So I took those off. They're sitting over here with the wastegate because I'm gonna do a catback exhaust. I don't wanna drive every day with that. That's gonna get annoying really quick. Then another thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get rid of this guy because it's been leaking oil everywhere. So I'm gonna put a regular cap on it, and I'm gonna vent the valve cover out of here to an oil catch can that is gonna be vented to atmosphere without the vacuum. So that's another thing I gotta do. And then I gotta put new tires. This thing is already with the cords sticking out. So another thing I'm trying to remove is the methanol system. I'm not gonna be running that. I'm just gonna have it on 93 octane. I'm also gonna remove, it has a sound system. This is the wire right here for the subs. So I'm gonna take all that off. I gotta wrap the whole car. I put a grill on it, it's missing a grill on the fog lights. New tires, I mentioned that already. Well, you'll see it. It's gonna have a full makeover. It's gonna be a street-worthy again. As far as the exterior goes, other than the paint being faded, which is kind of normal for these year vehicles, especially on red, it's pretty good. They had a incident with a deer. The whole front bumper got all messed up. So the bumper was replaced. The hood got a ding right there. Also the fender. Pretty messed up there, the door. So I'm gonna replace the fender and the door, and then the hood is gonna be replaced because I'm not gonna have that cut out anymore. So that's all gonna get replaced. And then yeah, the wrap is gonna be Nardo gray, so it should look pretty good. And then on the interior, honestly, the worst part is the dash. It's coming apart completely. You can see it right there. It's completely getting disintegrated. So I'm gonna swap out the dash, put something in there a lot better than these. And the interior also is gonna have a full makeover. I'm gonna get rid of all the tan in here. It's all gonna be blacked out, and some work in here. I'm not gonna say what yet because I might do carbon, but we'll see. So yeah, the plan is to have a very nice daily, all sorted out, no leaks, none of that. Very little vibrations and decent power. It's probably gonna be around the 400 mark because it's only gonna be on 93. That turbo might be a little too big for that, but it is what it is. Forgot to mention that turbo is a Precision 6266, which is, it's a pretty big turbo. You can make almost 800 on that, if not more. And that is a manifold I made for him a while ago. It's a top mount manifold with external wastegate, which, by the way, 2 years later, still holding up like a champ. So that should tell you something right there. Another thing that is leaking that I can't show you is the pivot shaft on the shifter. That's a common issue. They tend to start leaking. That one is leaking. The valve cover, I think, is also leaking a little bit. The valve cover gasket. So all of that's gonna get replaced. So this thing is gonna be nice. Take a look at this big old thing. So yeah, this guy's coming out. That guy's coming out. I'm sure you noticed I took all these out. And that's because the latch here is not working. And I was testing the bottom and the latch itself. It all works. I bench tested the latch and it works. So I got a feeling that it has to do with the BCM. And I think it's the BCM because I got a code on the access port that says that it lost communication with the BCM. So I'm thinking that it probably has to do with it, especially since the BCM on this car at the moment is not the factory one. But the owner does, the previous owner does have the BCM, the factory one, and there's nothing wrong with it. So I'm gonna pick it up and get it swapped over. All right, more tearing into it. This is the wiring for the sub. This is all gonna come out. This is the hose for the methanol. And that wire, I'm pretty sure, is for the level on the tank because the pump is up front. And I remember making that. I upgraded the pump in the tank to a Hellcat pump, so that's pretty good. I don't have to mess with that. Alright, the trunk is nice and clean, so I'm gonna start moving up, continue to take all those cables out, and also take this guy out. So I pulled all the wires out of here, including the hose for the methanol. And I pulled the seat because there's a bracket underneath that's broken and the seat moves back and forth. So I'm gonna fix that. I'll show you that in a minute. Here, this bracket here. See how it moves? It's completely snapped off from there. So I'm gonna sap some welds on that thing and it'll be good as new. Alright, I'm getting caught into a different thing because every time I'm taking something off, I see something else. So this light is missing, it was missing the high beam, it was missing the signal. I added a signal bulb and then I encountered some cable stuff that was going on there with some LEDs and I fixed that. But now I'm assuming the other side has the same problem and I can see it's missing, well, it's got the high beam in there, but it's missing the signal. So I'm gonna take the light out, check the wiring, and put everything back on. Alright, lights are on and fixed. Another thing I'm gonna fix is this crush bar, but not now. It's gonna stay as it is for now. I'm gonna redo that crush bar at some point. So I'm gonna continue removing the methanol system. I went ahead and backing over here, cleaned all that over here. Back seat is on. I think I have my stock back seats on the attic. This one's a little rough, so I'm gonna go down and replace that. Yeah, let me go ahead and fix the seat. Alright, how do you get this much trash in there? Look at everything I just pulled out of there. Still got more. got all this stuff disconnected from the radio. See all that crap down there? And I put it back on, so I'm just gonna reverse process, put all this shit back together, and we'll be done here, because I still don't have the dash. The dash is gonna take a few days, maybe weeks. So that's probably gonna be like a part 2. I'm gonna do as much as I can on this video, and then probably gonna be a part 2, because it's gonna take too long. All right, with the exception of the water bottle, I took all of that from the center console, from down here. And I'm gonna finish it off with one of my shift knobs. Press on here. Perfect. All right, we're done in here for now. So next thing on the interior is new steering wheel. This one is, you know, they get all bad. I got my original one from this car, so only got 20,000 miles, so it's pretty new. And then I'm getting a new dash, new to me dash, but it's used. And then a new radio, because this one, the touch is a little messed up. And oh yeah, I'm gonna black out everything, a liner, all these beige plastics. So all that is gonna be black. The whole center here is gonna be gloss black, and the dash actually is gonna be suede, the top of the dash. So it's gonna look like a completely different car. All right, next up, I'm gonna take all this out. I'm gonna take the intercooler, crush bar, pipes, and then I'm gonna take out the manifold so I can redo the oil catch can, and also the piping. I'm gonna have to redo it a little bit because I want this intercooler to sit further back. So when I redo this bar, I'm gonna have the intercooler sit back a little bit more, and also redo the pipes because they're not gonna fit anymore. Alright, just to catch you guys up, here's the problem with running this type of hose on oil catch can. See how it's completely collapsed in many areas right there too. Completely collapsed the hose. These hoses do that over time. I don't like to use these for that reason. In replacement, I like to use the braided hoses. It's got steel in it and they don't do this kind of stuff, so it lasts a lot longer and it looks better too. So that's the reason why I'm replacing this entire system. So in order to convert this to a AN style fitting with a line, this plate has plugs in here that we can thread the fittings to connect the AN lines. So I'm gonna go ahead and take those off and put 2 fittings in there. So here are the 2 plugs, here are the 2 fittings. Here on the manifold, one of the things I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get rid of this bolt. So when you delete the, I believe it's called the BCT, it's a variable thing here where it's got all the little butterfly in here inside the manifold and controls the idle or cold. That gets deleted, and then it leaves a hole here and one on the side. The one on the side is plugged. Looks like what was here, the actuator was cut off and used that as a seal. So I'm gonna remove this guy, take the bolt out, weld it shut, and probably paint it up. I don't like this, how it looks like that, so I got some cast aluminum paint and that'll look a lot better. Look at that, not bad, right? Looks brand new. Alright, so I made this little oil catch can from a recycled old oil catch can I had laying around. I added some extra fittings, those three right there, and then these two over here are gonna be for the filters so it vents out, and then down there that's the drain. So that's installed and ready to go. I got the fitting here from Amazon. It's all good. So I'm gonna start running lines and start finishing up this area here. Alright, manifold is back on. So everything down there is ready to go. Now I get to put all this back together. And I need to remove the valve cover because I'm going to add a breather line somewhere here. Probably right on there. Breather line. And that's going to the top of the oil catch can right there. And then I'm going to get to work on the downpipe, which I said I was going to, but yeah, things changed. And so you can see I give it some, I got this paint that turns rust into like a paintable surface. So I went ahead and sprayed some of that on there so that doesn't keep on rusting. And this thing, I love it because it's stainless, it never rusts, and it's got that nice golden color. So I'm gonna get started on this guy over here. One thing I gotta do is I gotta extend the wastegate. I'm gonna extend that over here, so the wastegate is gonna leave right here, and then the exhaust is gonna have to be done from scratch all the way down. All right, I got the wastegate pretty much mucked up in there, so tacked, it's not fully welded. I'm gonna start running my exhaust, and I need to make a bracket for it right here so it doesn't come loose and start touching the valve cover. Alright, so all that is looking pretty good. This is officially mounted, it's not going anywhere. I got my new cap in the mail, and also the breather filters for the oil catch can. So now I need to go ahead and remove the valve cover to replace the gasket and to add the breather. Well, sorry about that, the camera died, but all I did is I removed the valve cover, sanded it down, put the hole in for the breather, and now it's getting painted. And then I went over here, did a little bit of cleanup around the edge where the gasket is gonna go, and I checked it over and everything looks pretty damn good. Even the timing chain is still pretty damn tight. This is all OEM, by the way, with 100,000 miles. Look at it. Looks pretty damn good. The oil is a little dark, but that's alright, we're gonna change that. Alright, next up is the shifter, and the seal on the shifter is a common failure point for these cars. They start to leak after a while, so I took it off. She's sitting right here, and the seal is inside of this part right here. Okay, but don't scratch the dash. Okay, so next up is I'm gonna remove that pin, slide this whole thing down, slide that out.
Too many right there.
Okay, and remove the seal. And that right there is the seal that needs to be replaced. All right, new seal is in place. I cleaned up all the gasket material, so I'm just gonna reassemble everything. All right, just cleaned her up pretty good. Also cleaned the transmission to, you know, that's the only way you can make sure that it's not leaking anymore. You gotta clean your mess. So you can see it's all clean, so I'm gonna go ahead and put some new sealant in there, the red one, which is temperature rated, and then put it back in. All right, she's all finished up. I know black is not the prettiest color, but the blue definitely wasn't going with anything else, not with the red, not with the fuchsia color scheme, so I went with black. It's a wrinkled black color from my bed liner. It was pretty good. It'll do for now until I get it powder coated, but that will do for that. Here goes my little breather right here. That line's gonna go all the way to the top of my oil catch can down there. All these shifter is 100% done. But yeah, so good to go. Now I can actually go ahead, do the exhaust, and turn it on, see how it sounds like. Okay, forgot to record what I was doing, but I've been cooking. See over here, I got the downpipe done, and I had to wrap it just because of how damn close it is to the alternator wire down there. And sadly, that's all the space I got. So yeah, I'm gonna get going with the exhaust and show some of that progress. Alright, more updates with the exhaust. So this is the muffler I'm going to be putting on. This is a monstrous HKS muffler, OG from Japan. See the HKS logo there if you will focus on it. There you go. So I used to have this guy back in the day. I'm talking about possibly 8 years ago. I'm going to post a picture right now. And I used to love this exhaust, so I'm going back to it. So far all I did is I chopped up the back here because it needs to make a tight turn to get over the rear subframe. I added the hanger over here. And for you wondering, this is 4.5 inches. Look how small it makes a 3-inch pipe look. That's a 3-inch inlet. So yeah, it's a pretty big boy. I'm gonna go ahead and hang it and start mucking up the pipe. Alrighty guys, she is 100% done. Check this out. I even got the Westgate pipe running through there. It's a very tight squeeze, but she's not touching anything. That's the mid pipe right there coming from the turbo back. Look at me looking all crazy and dirty, but it's 100% done, so I'm gonna turn it on. But first, I'm waiting to get new tires for the front because those tires are gone. So I got the guy coming to install them, and that's about it. I'm gonna flash a different tune on there, the one without the methanol, and we're gonna test drive it and see how she sounds. Alright, don't mind the Christmas tree. So I'm having an issue where the O2 sensor is not reading. You can see my AFR is stuck at 14.85 and the car doesn't really know, if it's lean, reach. So it's not working its best right now. I think it's dumping a hell of a lot of fuel because it smokes in the back when I rev it. So the Amazon O2 sensor did not work. I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and get an OEM one. which is like $200 for a sensor. But yeah, let me show you how she sounds. Don't mind the smoke. Alright guys, so unfortunately I won't be able to show you what it sounds like driving around. I don't like to drive it like this. You see all that black smoke? That means that it's rich as hell. And that is because the ECU is dumping a hell of a lot of fuel in there because the AFR sensor, the O2 sensor, is not working. I got a new suspension installed all around, and then hopefully I got the sensor by then, and we can drive it around. So here's what the suspension looks like currently. It's got speed, it's already leaking everywhere. So a huge thanks to Max Speed and Rod for sending these badass coilovers. These are the newest style coilover, and they're a huge improvement over the last. Right here you got the mono, I think it's Godspeed, yeah, Godspeed Mono SS. You can tell just a quick difference. The spring is way beefier than that. It's also a little bit longer. I think that's about the differences. It's important to point out that also the valving inside the shock itself has changed. They improved it since the last set of coilovers they had available, and this one's ride a lot more comfortable. Just of a week worth of driving, I can tell a huge difference between this and the last design they had. Definitely check out their website for more info and give them a try. Alright, another thing that needs to go is this steering wheel. So you can see it's really bad up here. It's got 116,000 miles on it, so it's due for a replacement. And also I went ahead, I changed the radio already. This is an Android radio and it works way better with it. So, and it works way better. And the only thing it doesn't have is a backup camera, but that's gonna happen later on. For now, let me go ahead and change this guy. All right, here are the two side by side. You can tell this one's a lot newer. And now this came out of my car, and it had about 20,000 miles when I took it out, so it's essentially a new steering wheel. So and just like that, I got a new steering wheel. The emblem is it's a little faded, but you know, at least the steering wheel is good. Alright, on to the next. Alright, so now that all that is done, let's go ahead and take this thing for a drive. All right, so she's sounding pretty good. Definitely could use a tune. This tune is really low on PSI. Definitely feels not as fast as it can be. It can definitely be way faster than what it is now. But it's a start. We're gonna go from here. We're gonna work on getting this thing tuned, boosting a little bit more. Even though it's a daily, I want to get a little bit faster than that. And yeah, everything seems pretty healthy on it, all it was. So stay tuned for the next phase where we tackle the interior, make that thing look like $1,000, and go ahead and give it probably a paint job or wrap it. I'm not sure yet, but that's gonna be happening next. Thank you for watching. Oh, and YC light is good. All right, still here, still kicking, not blown up. A lot of you guys have been requesting an update on it. So after I went to the track last time, that was back in December, I had some issues with it not doing boost by gear. It's mainly tuning issues, little things that I need to set up better on the car here and there. But we're gonna be going out again, hopefully this month, so I can get ready for FL2K that is coming right up. I've been turning it on, setting up the launch control for the all-wheel drive setup. So it sounds pretty badass when you get on the two-step. But yeah, she is good to go.